What's up? Timmy, what's good? DJ Finber, what's going on, bro? Who's there? Uh, okay, pin comments. Akin, what's up? Jay, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? All right. View. Yes.
Hey, hey.
Hey, what's
Hey,
up?
hey. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing?
Pretty good. I cannot complain. You know how that goes.
Yeah, I'm taking you home, right?
Oh yeah. Listen, I don't care what it is. I'm not going outside.
I know you. I know you're a city girl, but so I guess you just got
Listen,
chill for now.
I am a city girl with at least 50 different apps. Trust and believe somebody's ass is
Yes,
delivering
yeah.
something to this house.
Oh man, nice, nice. Thank you so much, man. I'm like, like at least we find a way to make this happen.
I mean, I thank God for technology. Otherwise, we would be just like
Yeah,
out the door trying to figure it out.
exactly, exactly. It's true. It's definitely. So what have you been up to?
I've actually, it's kind of funny how this all went down because I took time out to say, let me build out the platform, the newest platform that I've been working on for the past 6 years,
Yeah.
which has been African Women in Technology.
Okay.
So we did the event side where we went to Ghana and Mozambique and um,
And yeah, all this.
Kenya, Uganda.
Yeah.
So, I finally said, okay, we've done these things. This is great, but let me go ahead and add another layer to what we're doing because what we were doing was educating young women and girls in technology.
Yes.
But that was just the event side. And then we'd have the mentorship.
Okay.
But recently I said, okay, let me build out an opportunity for them to pick up freelance jobs so that
Yeah.
they can build out websites or do graphics.
Mm-hmm.
So for the past 6 months, that's exactly what I was working on
Yeah.
was building out the
Before
free.
this happened.
Yeah, before all this happened. I mean, it's still in beta. So, I
Yes.
mean, we
Yes.
launched it like a soft launch is what I would
Mm-hmm.
call it right now.
All right.
Soft launch. Hi.
All right.
um, Soft launch in January, February.
Yeah.
So, and then this happened, and I was like, okay, this is good. It's a good start because at the end of the day, it allows
Yeah.
us to write out
Oh,
softly for the rest of the year.
exactly. Well, so obviously I've known you for years now. We go way back. We've done a lot of work together. I've been, a part of some of your journey. I've been invited to a lot of the great events you put together. You're doing it really big. But yeah, let's take it back real quick. So for as a young girl growing up, what were your dreams and aspirations? What did you want it to be?
It's so funny. The most keen thing that I remember above everything else, I was watching TV and I was watching people suffer for whatever reason. I don't know exactly what it was. All I knew was that I saw people suffering, right?
Hmm.
And I was looking at the TV and my mother said, "What's wrong with you?" Because she saw, I had some type of face. And I said, "I want to help people." That's what I told her. She said, she started laughing because, Nigerian parents, you want to help
Oh.
who?
Which kind of help?
Yeah, yeah. What do you mean help?
Yes.
Are you a doctor, lawyer? How are you helping? Right?
Yes.
And she's laughing, and I said, "No, seriously, Mom, I want to help people." She said, "You will always be poor." I said, "Nope, I will never be poor, but
Oh.
I want to help people." So she said, "Okay, fine, whatever." So with that thought in mind, always thinking about that, I never thought of exactly what I was going to do. I was more intent on the vision of being able to help people.
Okay.
So, and that vision of being able to help just kind of led me in a path of saying, this is what you're going to do. This is how you're going to do it. So it's like every level of career has always been a transition to the next transition to the next transition. But all of it has always been, you know, helping people in some form or fashion.
All right. So before all of this, obviously you got a bachelor's degree in business, master's in management and leadership, and then since then, you know, you've as a vice president of the large, you know, investment banking organization, and then you've I mean, I'm talking about controlling hundreds of millions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
How did you end up in that particular industry? Was that something you were set out? I know you wanted to help, but how did you end up?
Right. You know, it's so funny because at the time I was actually following, you know, it's now the ex-husband, but I was following my ex-husband's career. He was a chef, and he, you know, he came to New York to get training and development. And I was at the time I was waiting tables just to pass the time because I was following his career, right?
Working in the restaurant business there.
Yeah, so I just wanted something that didn't take away from our time together, right? That just waiting tables was simple, so it didn't take much, and you know, we agreed we'd do that, right? But then for whatever reason, I started working a lot of hours, and he says to me, "Listen, we both can't be in this industry."
Then you're not even spending time together, right? No.
Right. We can't spend time together. And they offered me management and all of this other stuff. And, you know, he was like, "I'm glad you got this opportunity to be in management," because I was. He's like, "But, you know, choose something that you could do 9 to 5 that you would really enjoy." So I said, "All right, what do I do now?" So I love houses. So because I love houses, I said, you know what, let me, you know, purchase our first house before I switched out of the industry. So I went to go purchase our house, and we lived in Atlanta at the time. So I go to purchase this house, and the house needed work. So I started researching like all the different loan programs that you could use to renovate homes, you know, back then. So, and I found this FHA 203K program, which allows you to, it's still available, which allows you to buy this house and do a total renovation, gut renovation. So I went to someone that I knew that did FHA loan, and I said, "Listen, this is a program that they're offering. I want this program." She said, "Well, you know, they hadn't really done it, but they had FHA." I said, "Well, that's fine, you know, but this is what I want." So she said, "Okay." So we set out to do the program. In the middle of all of this, she didn't know anything about the program, nor did she research it. So me being me, I said, let me go get all the information since I found the program anyway. So through the program, I found out that I didn't have to pay the mortgage for 6 months while I was doing renovation. You know, it was like all of these things that you have to do. That's a checklist, right? So I gave it to her, and I said, you need to put this into the loan so that we're not trying to pay a mortgage while the house is being renovated, because we can't live in it anyway. So we might as well just still live in our apartment while the house was getting renovated. So she argued with me. I said, "Let me pull the stuff for you." So I printed it and I took it to her. But anyway, so it went like this for several months, and I said, "You know what? We're not doing this. You know, if I'm confused, other people got to be this confused." Yeah, let me help other people so that they're not confused like how I was, you know? So I said I could do her job. Shit, I could do her job all day, every day. So from that, you know, I went to, you know, these different banks to hire me. They wouldn't. And my first opportunity was given to me by a Nigerian. And he was like, I'll show you, but you're going to work. I can't pay you. But if you close loans, then you'll get the, you know, then you'll get the percentage.
Kind of
exactly. So yeah. So he had a warehouse type office where I could learn all these different banking programs and products and learn how to structure deal. So long as you're in industry, you could take the, you know, classes and then learn and then go from there. So that's what I did.
Wow. So that's how you ended up in this. So okay. So I guess so that particular person was sort of your mentor, right? Would you say that?
Yeah.
Yep. Industry.
Yep.
Yeah.
I believe in mentors. I don't care what industry you're in. You should always find a mentor, no matter what. You will not be successful without it, as successful to the highest level that you can, if you have someone that has already experienced some of the things you're trying to reach.
Of course. All right. Thank you. And then eventually you started Ibom LLC,
Yeah.
November 2011. Can you tell us about that?
Right. Well, okay. So back into the story of mortgages.
Yeah.
Throughout the years that I worked in the mortgage industry, I learned a lot. I became manager. I worked, various systems. When I came to New York again, I was following my ex-husband's career. So I was following his career, and I came here, and I took a job at this particular bank, and I didn't like it, but I took the job because I said this will fill the time because I just arrived in New York City.
Hmm.
So I said to them, everything that you have is antiquated, but I'll be here long enough, I guess, until I find another job. And I told them that because their systems were old. A lot of the way their processes were old. So, they didn't take me seriously. So I said, okay. So finally I found a job, a management training job in Long Island.
Okay.
And when I found that job, that's when they said to me, well, we don't want you to go. We want you to stay, because I submitted my resignation. And I said, I can't stay here because I'll lose my skill set. They're like, what do you mean you'll lose your skill set? I said, well, you don't have the right technology, you don't have the right processes, and you don't have the right products. So, if I stay here, I'll lose my edge in mortgages, because being in the financial sector, you have to be on top of your game if you want to be successful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they said to me, don't leave. You be the manager, and we will allow you to do all these things that you're requesting, right? I said, but I need staff too. They said, we're not going to give you the staff. What we're going to do is allow you to use whatever technology you want to use in order to make your processes work. But you won't be able to get the staff because you don't have the numbers to justify the staff. I said, okay, fine, no problem. So, of course, I went, researched the best systems that I knew that I had used in, other places.
Yes.
And from using those systems, the goal at the time was about 60 million, 60 million. That first year, I ended up closing over $90 million.
Whoa. Way above the expectation.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. Just from switching out their systems and switching out their processes. So,
wow.
From that, every year, the portfolio at the time was like roughly 150, 200 million. As of June last year, when I left the financial sector,
Yes.
The goal now, well, the money's budget overall is 1.2 billion. So I grew
those numbers you're throwing out is,
yeah,
you somehow,
yeah. So I grew their portfolio and said, okay, but corporate America has a cap. Once you get to a certain cap in corporate America, you may not move up as fast, just because there are people that have been there longer than you, and you're now in this tread where it's like, okay, VP, SVP, EVPs. So they kind of stay for a little while longer. So I said, okay, since I have the skill set and I know what I did, and I'm going to these our networking events for the community, and everybody's asking me questions about businesses, not necessarily mortgages, but I do business because I've had to work with business loans before within the banking system. So I said, you know what? Let me just start doing events for the community. So this way, the community can see that with the right technology, no matter what business it is, they can be successful. Or if they're creating their own technology, they can be even more successful, especially if their technology meets a certain need within what consumers want. And that's how Ibom LLC came to be.
You know what I love about your story, and is the fact that everything that you started, it has been because of a need.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, oh yeah, somebody's doing this, let me jump in it. It's almost like, I want to do this, and this is how it was done for me. I want to make it better for other people. So how important is that when you're starting a business?
Well, if you're not creating a solution, you might as well not, if there's a problem and you're creating a solution, you might as well just give up. Because if you're creating it because someone else has it, then there's no passion or drive for you. You see the money first.
Of course.
Money does not attract success. It attracts success to a certain limit. And then after that, something else has to kick in. So money follows passion. If you have a passion in something and you have a passion in it, then let your mind focus on the passion, and ultimately the money comes. It comes back full circle. You know, some people do things, eventually they lose passion for it, and then they have to do something else. But each thing that they did with the height of their passion, they were the best at it, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you know a lot of people that said, you know what, let me do this. I mean,
Of
that's
course.
how Uber was created. That's why Facebook, Instagram,
Yeah,
you know, a
absolutely.
lot of people saw something and said, you know what, the solution is this. Like right now, with all this, you know, there's so many
Of course,
solutions
that is
that
being created based on the need. Okay.
exactly.
And then obviously you went on and you started the Innovative magazine,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
I remember those early days. I remember, in fact, when you told me, like, man, she's crazy, man. Like, I don't even know how you were gonna manage it because I knew everything else that you were doing. So, again, another need, right? Tell us why you started it and then what the process was like.
sure. I started that based on the fact that I said, okay, I've had amazing speakers, but I really need to be able to reach to people across many channels. And it's great that I had a voice within the community that I lived in. You know,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. But a better voice is when you can reach on a global scale, so everybody can hear you and see whatever message you're trying to put out. And I truly believe that blogs are your voices that cannot go, but people see. You know, you can't be everywhere, but that can, you know,
Of course.
because it's online. So what I did was I said, okay, let me learn all about WordPress and, you know, which is going to be the best solution for me. And I did that. And when I did that, like, I think for like maybe the first 3 or 4 months, I had a total of maybe 200 people that read the blog.
Yes.
But then I made some changes to it. I actually add like Google Analytics, Google AdSense, and I started playing with SEO, Google AdWords, and I went from 200 readers in a 2-month period to where now it's been almost like 5-6 years. I have 500,000 readers a month. What people don't realize about blogs is that if you put in the right SEO and you work with Google AdWords, if it's on WordPress, you can make, along with their AdSense and other marketing, you could literally make for your blog anywhere from like 800 to about 4,000 a month, based on you. And that's just the online presence. So it doesn't require you to say, I'm going to leave my job or go do this or go do that. No, you're creating streams of income. So even though the blog became my voice, you know, which of course we're tweaking it. Well, not this year, but by next year, because you don't need to do nothing this year. But we're gonna tweak it and try to scale it even more because it's growing on its own and it has that much readership without us doing anything too major. But you know, you always
you
have
have
to
the focus obviously on technology, and I felt like even though, like, you know career starting in terms of banking, the mortgage, you were using technology. You were always using technology to improve everything you were doing. How important is data analytics, to you in terms of everything you're doing, with Ibom LLC and also with Innovative Magazine?
Right. Well, what it is, we had to look through all the analytics to see what are the top content, who reads it, where they're reading it, you know, how did they get into our information, and what page did they go to from this page to the next page. Those were the analytics that we had to use in order for us to determine what stories really matter to our audience. What we saw with our audience is that a lot of them, even though yes, I like to talk about Africa, they're like, that's great, they'll glance through it. But what was key for them is the how to. How do I, do this, or how do I do that? So we found through reviewing all of our data that this is what mattered to our readers. So if this is what matters to your readers, then you want to put that. Also, what pages matter to your readers? Because I may have a section on social media, but people are like, whatever, I saw it on social media, or I saw that tweet, or I saw this. They were still gravitating more towards the women in tech information, or also the latest tech how-tos. Because even though Instagram will pull out a new product, they may quickly glance at what Instagram posted on how to use it, but they love to read, is there anything else I need to know about it that may not be there? So that's how we use data to determine what we need to do. Also, when we do events, we have to data track how many people attended in terms of numbers, in terms of our reach through social media channels. We use data to see, hey, if you actually would have sponsored us, you would have reached this many people, over 1.2 million people per event in Africa, you know, and also what times are the best times for us to post things. So all of the analytics that we use is actually helping our business to operate. If you own anything and you're not paying attention to your analytics, you might as well just close up shop.
No, absolutely. Like that's one of the things that I do with UDR radio, obviously, is I look at that, which countries people are listening in, and what time do they listen, like, you know, and what are they using? Is it Android? Is it Apple? Is it, you know, things like that. So
yeah.
Interesting. One of the questions I have for you also, if you are in the creative space, graphic designer, artist, DJ, etc., right? What are the key financial decisions you should be making or doing right now to position yourself in a better financial situation?
You know, it's so funny that you should ask that question, because I was actually looking at some of these artists recently, and I said, wow, they should have just made better decisions.
Once make the problem.
Right. Right. Once you like look at business, your mind always looks at business when you're dealing with people and how they handle their business. So one of the things that I just observe as a person that always looks at how businesses should be structured, no matter what form is in, I noticed that a lot of the artists, DJs, everyone, when they get paid, they take their money, not everyone, I should say some people. Some people take their money when they get paid and then they decide to go do shenanigans, right? Because you're scheduled to get more money. I don't care if it's a DJ, I don't care if it's an artist, I don't care who it is, the promoter, whomever, right? Dancers, whatever. We all kind of live in a right now moment. And within that right now moment, we always believe that things will always come back around to work in our favor so that we could do X, Y, Z, right?
Yeah.
So some of us don't truly project out. So when I went on some of the artists and DJs and, you know, dancers or whomever, I went to their personal pages. Some of them did not have one, you know. Some of them did not have any. Even when they had the personal page, the information wasn't updated. Even though you had this website, that's fantastic, but you put no ads within the website to generate income for you in case there was something that happened. I saw a lot of people not posting their recent like accomplishments or their recent things that they've done. I mean, even things that allows you to make money. Hey, you made a mixtape, great. Here's $2. Pay to download it. Here's $1. Download my shit. You know what I mean? I didn't see those strategic initiatives with
a lot of them. A lot of artists are home now, and there's no money from shows, and that's how they've been making money. So everybody looking at each other's face, like, you know, where's the money coming from, right?
Right. And Bobby and I, a friend of mine who's on here now, hi Bobby. We were talking about this, and what we said is that you get the money right now, but you haven't invested in yourself. You didn't go back and say, let me build out in case I don't feel like going to this DJ show. I can still generate money no matter what I do, right? You know, you didn't build out this. You're popular. You're a person that everybody knows. You say, hey, buy this shirt. You know what? At least 1,000 people out of 500,000 will buy this $20 shirt from you. You didn't build out a contingency plan. So even if they didn't purchase your you know, your t-shirts, they could have at least went on your website and say, oh, his thing is only $2. I could download this. I could do this. All you did was kept them on one platform like Instagram. And now, you know, you're doing this free on Instagram. What can you say? Plan it out, you know, build it out.
Absolutely. So I wanted to talk to you something like in your business, I feel like you've done a lot of empowering women. You know, when you went to Kenya, and I remember like one of the events that I came to, and I was on the panel, it's a lot of women that came. They were so proud. You know, you've been talking to them, teaching them how to monetize their business, bringing them with investors and in terms of technology. Where is that from in terms of working with women, and why the need, especially in this day and age, to really empower like women?
Well, I had experience being in corporate America. As you know, you deal with a lot of isms, racism, you know, you know, sexism, whatever, you know, all the different isms that we all deal with in corporate America. But, you know, that's where we make our paychecks. So sometimes we don't ring the bell. you know, because it's too much, unless what they do is just so horrible that we just say, you know what, the whole world got to know about these shenanigans that y'all are pulling, right? But generally, we don't ring the bell. But what we do is say, you know what, I'm going to build out something better that is actually better for my people or better for businesses or whatever the case is, right? So with me, I said, there are lots of organizations here in the United States, even though I've always done things for women here in the United States. Yes. But I felt like there were a lot of organizations in the United States that were actually doing things for women. So it didn't really need me to create another opportunity, you know, for women, you know, here in the US. I felt that the calling for me had to be in Africa. And not specifically Nigeria, even though it was always a goal for Nigeria. And it was a good friend of ours, you know, Davine, who you and I both know, that said to me, listen, you know, you Nigerians always go to Nigeria. You know, shift your focus. So I did. And because I did shift that focus, and I, you know, shifted from just being about Nigeria to say, let me go to Kenya. Once I went to Kenya and I saw the reception that I received in Kenya, I said, you know what, there's a need here. Number one, I'm dealing with culture, because, you know, our culture, why, wait, you want to work how many, you know, how many hours? When are you going to get married? How will you marry if you're, you know, blah, 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 blah. So because we understand the culture, we understand how our people will respond to us. We understand what to say to the fathers and the mothers to calm them down and say, we're not trying to take away your daughter from, you know, her responsibilities as a woman. We're trying to make sure that she could feed her family, that she could feed, you know, her future. She could do things that would be more beneficial, and, you know, you won't be left behind. So that's why I felt that my impact wouldn't be in the US, even though I've done, you know, a lot of things here in the US, but I felt that I could better impact women there because I was from the culture, even though there's so many tribes throughout Africa, but we all have some of the same basic structures, you know, of what we believe in. And I knew what lines to cross and what not to cross. So I felt that I would make a better impact there.
Thank you. So can you tell me about like the top 3 apps that you use as a businesswoman, as an entrepreneur?
Oh my God, that's hard. But I mean, okay. So my favorite app, let's talk about the favorite apps during the crisis as well. So my favorite app is Instacart. You know, let me tell you, Instacart is a grocery store app. What Instacart will do is bring groceries to my house, because you know what? I'm not leaving my house. And if you know, like I know, in New York City, and you trying to go to a grocery store, you got to put all your brigade on. Right. Then you got to, I mean, then you're standing in line for like 3 to 4 hours, at least. That's what, you know,
one person at a time going in, yes.
Exactly. So one person at a time, go in, whatever. You know, that's fine that you want to touch your fruit and smell it and all that good stuff. I don't need to do all that. Just bring me the food. Let me wash it down, because no matter if I was there picking it or they're picking it, I still got to wash it down. So that's one of my favorite apps. I loved Via. Is similar to Uber Pool, for those that don't know, because Via is just...
What is it called? Via?
Via, VIA.
Okay.
Yeah, so Via is mainly in New York and I think parts of Jersey. It's not all over. But the good thing about Via, it's a ride-sharing app. Whereas Uber Pool might charge you still $30, Via might charge you $12, you know, if there's not high volume. So Via is like one of my favorite apps to go to. For a business person, all the social media apps matter for different things and different messages. You know, Twitter is great for conferences and talking to people across many platforms. In terms of marketing, whatever it is that you want to do, you just have to use the right hashtags, but it doesn't matter. Even if you did a promotion, it still will work. Instagram, you know, works great for like pictures and short videos and engaging your audience, being able to really dialogue with your audience. Facebook to me is not the same as what it used to be, which used to be how Instagram was. I actually believe Facebook now is more doing marketing than actually having the actual business on there and doing a lot of business postings on there. It depends on the platform. If you're big and you could do all that marketing and draw in all the people constantly, you'll always get that conversation flowing and information overload in Facebook. But if you don't, and you're a small business owner and you don't have the capacity to do that, you're better off just building audience in Facebook for your product and then being able to market your product, slowly to that audience without having to hire on a boatload of people that you can't afford to have on.
Yes.
So social media platforms across the board. But professionally right now, I'm in love with Instagram because I'm not leaving the house.
All right. What is the best advice you've been given?
The best advice I've always been given is try everything and fail. Even if you fail, it does not matter. Fail fast and learn. It doesn't matter. I think we take it so personal when something crashes and burn. That's everybody. I don't care what that failure looks like. We all take it so personal. We feel like we should be doing more, or we could have done this different, or could have done that different. It doesn't matter. The fact is, the lessons from that will actually help you build out a better product. It may not even be the exact same thing. You could be building out something totally different. It does not matter. The fact is, let it fail if it's going to fail, and recognize it, because holding on to it is going to drag you with it. But try to learn the lesson to the best that you can, and don't let it destroy your ability to go back and build something better or something totally different.
All right, cool. Thank you. So I'm bringing my co-host on today, my daughter, Anie. Oh, you know what? So she can ask you.
Oh, we got questions.
Yeah, she can ask you our own question.
Okay.
Put together. All right. So you got it? Oh, there you go. All right. Make sure they can see you. All right.
Hi.
Hello.
So short. Can you see?
You short?
All right. Cool. That's good. So go ahead.
How confident were you when you first started your business?
Wow, that's a good question. Do you know that confidence was never in my equation of building the business. The passion was the confidence. So I didn't look at it as like, was I gonna fail or not? I didn't look at it as like, could I or could I not do it? I didn't care about that. I cared more about how am I going to impact the people that I'm trying to help? How can I get the message to them? And what was the best message for what they needed based on what they asked me? So my confidence was not even in the equation. It was, what's the best way to build what people needed and be able to help them to grow whatever business they wanted to grow. So confidence wasn't a factor. I think that the confidence comes into play when you believe in what you're actually doing. So you actually can bypass it being the first thing that people see. The first thing they feel is your passion. So that's the thing that matters the most is, are you passionate about whatever it is you're putting out? Because if you're not, it'll definitely show.
Next question. You have another one?
Yeah. How did your business grow over time?
It had to do with being consistent. So if you say you're going to build something and you advertise it once and you get all this attention, people just fall in love with you, right? Then all of a sudden you stop doing the thing that people fell in love with. It could just be because you showed your face, or it could be because you showed your product, or it could be because you just talked to your audience. Anytime you lose a focus in whatever you're doing and you don't give a clear, consistent message and people aren't hearing from you, then your business won't grow. But if you're doing things and you're being creative, you say, like your father today is doing this Instagram, live. And then tomorrow he says, you know what, I really want to build this out much bigger and have 5 people talking at the same time and, doing this and doing that. He just switched up what he did the first time. So people are like, oh, wait, he switched it up. Let me go see what he's doing. So people follow you to your next place, so long as you're being creative. And again, staying true to the original vision that people fell in love with. So you need to be creative and then switch up, keep switching up each time. And if the thing is good the way it is, just keep evaluating. Your father asked me, do I look at data? You have to look to see that the people really like this. Ask them questions. Did y'all like when we put this out? Did this work for you? And if you did, what could we do better? So even if you're not sure and you wanted to keep it the same, ask. From you asking, you might find out, nah, we really don't like it. We just like you. You know what I mean? Or the message could be, we love it. We love it. Give us more of it. And then you'll be able to see how you're going to grow from there.
Cool. You get one more question.
What advice would you give like a 10-year-old like me?
Okay. All right. So the advice that I love to give young girls is that you really, really, really need to get dad to put you into a summer camp that allows you to learn how to code. So you need to learn.
Wait. Listen, so you want to add money to this thing? Okay, we'll talk about that one later.
I beg you, didn't ask me. There are things I can send you that are free. She's my little niece. I will find something for her to do. You don't have to worry. You did not ask me. Mind you, your father's been knowing me for when you're a small baby. So it's his fault. Yes. Tell your father, mark my words, I'm not even looking at him. I'm looking at you, baby girl, right here. Tell your father to put you into a coding camp. What I want you to learn is just the basic of technology. When you learn the basics of technology, you can start to get creative. It might be you walking down the street, you may see something that your neighborhood needs, but you use, technology to truly solve that problem. Once you're able to learn technology, you'll know what you need to invent. It's not that coding is the key to be all, because it's not. But at your age, this is a good start for you. So dad needs to go find some technology classes for you to go to. And if he's confused, just remind him, she said that she was going to give you some links. And you said that you was going to listen. You see what I'm saying? You got me? All right, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the questions.
Thank you. All right, cool. So what do you do to wind down? You're very busy, very, very busy. Every time I see you, I'm there, we're talking. She's there, all over the place. So what do you do to wind down?
I am a heavy meditation person. I cannot focus without doing meditation. For me, meditation is like someone gave me the keys of life. When you keep a schedule like I've always kept, the only way that allowed me to truly focus was to be still, and although we're not talking religion, but what this does is allows, you to hear God's message to you very, very clearly. And then your own intuition kicks in. Your creativity is always discovered when you're silent. You can't hear what you need to hear, the messages that you get internally if you're always running or you're always busy. So even if you have a problem, even if you're like trying to build something or you're trying to be creative, when you sit down to meditate, you'll see exactly what you need to do because there are no outside noises. The only noise is the voice that's in your head. And when you can calm that down, that allows you to really see what decisions you need to make and where you're going to next. So for me, it's always.
We got a couple of quotes from down. We need to put that on the t-shirts,
Yeah, well, the focus, if you don't still your mind, because our mind goes 100 miles an hour. We see stuff, TV, work, girlfriends, whatever, boyfriends, husbands, wives, children, whatever. All of those things really impact our ability, to truly focus and say, okay, I'm going to build this, I'm going to build that, no matter where you're at, even if you get stuck. The moment you actually sit down to do meditation, you feel unstuck. And then you could better get an idea of, let me see how to move this. I've made all of my major decisions. $1 million decisions have been made after I did meditation. So without the ability to actually sit down and meditate, I would have missed my opportunity to sell like 30 million in mortgages and be able to, you know, recoup millions back for the company. And I was scared and nervous because it meant that I was putting myself at risk because it was a pricing structure and I had to catch the price at the right time. And I had to go with my deep intuition. So my deep intuition told me, don't sell today. You need to wait until Monday. So, but because I was able to do the meditation in the morning, I knew that this could possibly happen. So that when I came in on Monday, when I was meditating before it, I knew that Monday would be the day. It's just a matter of what time.
Of course.
So once I got there, because I was able to shut outside noise, because people's nervousness, because, you know, energy and reading people is all the same. Somebody comes in there with some vibe that you like, what you doing here?
Like, what's
you know what
happening?
I mean?
What's going on?
That's a distraction. That
Yes.
is a mind distraction. I don't care if you're creating music. If these people come in with the wrong vibe, they're not ready to sing today. Okay. You know, if they come in and you're supposed to be making beats and you're not focused, today's not that day.
It's not happening yet.
It's not happening. So, but when you're able to hear yourself and your own intuition is actually alive and well in you and you can hear it clearly, that is when you make your best decision. So that's my relaxation, is that, and plus the beach. I love the beach.
Cool. All right. So what advice would you give to like young upcoming entrepreneurs, you know, especially those in the creative sectors right now?
Right. I always say, study your competition, not because you want to be your competition, but ask yourself what's making them successful. You know, do a pros and cons when you look at other businesses, you know, against yours. What are you offering that they're not offering? What are they doing so successful? Are you able to see their numbers? And if you are, go and look at their numbers. A lot of companies, even though you're creative and let's just say you're a graphic designer, you know, there are other people that do things for other companies. Go look to see what those companies are, who designed it, and why they went with that. You know, a lot of people think that, I understand most people are like, I'm not doing nothing for free. Okay, yeah, I get it. But there are times that you should make that decision based on the company that you want to work with. You know, so there are times you should evaluate and approach the company and say, hey, I was, you know, reviewing your information and this and this and this, and I can offer you this, and I'm willing to offer it to you for this amount of time, at this price, at this completely reduced price, or for free the first time. People put value on the fact that I've done all this training. Why should I do anything for free? That's great, but you're trying to get yourself in the door. You know, there's no value in looking outside from a, you know, you know, you looking outside from a window talking about, I'm the world's greatest. Sit down. Nobody has experienced you yet. They don't know anything about you. They don't know. And, you know, sometimes you come out and you're just popping and everybody loves it. Then yes, maintain your prices, maintain whatever it is you need to do. But when you're first walking in and you just launched, you know, look to see what value add you could add to your competition's, you know, customers, you know, steal them. Hey, that's what people do all the time. You know, what can you do differently? And from there, see where it takes you.
Cool. And your the app that you're working on, so you're talking about launching like maybe by the end of the year, or now because of the delays? When can we?
No, I did it in what I said, you know, the soft launch, which is a freelancer for African women in technology for you to hire them. It's actually there. What it is, you could still go in.
Is it in the Apple Store right? Is in the stores right now? Like Google
it's not. We didn't put it on the app. We just left it on the internet. Because it's still in a soft launch. But now that I know that if you know anything,
this is specifically for women.
It's women are on the platform, so you get to specifically hire women to do certain projects.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's for women, but our customers could be any and everybody. Anybody. It could be you, could be whoever's watching this right now. Our customers can go in and have women build out their website or their graphic design or create content.
How do women join? How can you join it if you want to be a part of it?
It's awitcreatives.com. In my bio, you could actually see the name. It's our beta. It's our newest product. Also, if you don't find it there, you can find it on africanwomenintech.com, where you can click on it. It takes you right out to it. Even though, like I told you, it's in soft launch, because of what's happening right now. We love soft launches. It just means that we're not going to get 1,000 people today and just completely fail customer service wise.
Yeah.
It means that each customer that we get, we can actually take the time to work with them to make sure everything works from soup to nuts, and they're patient and we're patient. So it allows it to be a better building, in terms of where we're at.
Nice, exciting. I'm definitely gonna be checking that out. So,
Thank you.
Maybe we'll update the UDI radio app. Somebody there,
Right. I'll be bugging you.
All right, cool. So, let's do my little quiz, and then
A quiz.
Yeah, I hope you're ready. This is like jam YA questions.
I get it. Okay. Let's hope I do well.
No. All right, cool. So, New York or Lagos?
Oh wow, that's levels. You try to.
You can't have it both
okay,
ways.
I'll say this. Yes, if I was to party, Lagos all day, every day.
Ooh, all right, all right. Palm wine, NSC, or champagne? Which is your medicine?
Okay. It's funny. I just had this conversation on Hennessy is not Hennessy and I don't get along. Just like me and tequila don't get along. We can only do those in small doses. so it'll be champagne. The rest, no, we got to mix them suckers up with something.
All right. Roasted plantain or fried plantain?
Oh, come on now. I know that's not a question. Fried plantain has no competition. That's only when we trying to be healthy, But we still gonna slide into the fried plantain. What are you talking about?
Oh man.
That's not even that's like saying rice or jollof rice.
But you know what's funny? I had somebody the other day and I asked them that question. And I was hurt when they said, "Oh no, fried plantain," just like that. Like, they didn't even think about it. I was like, "You know what, roasted?" Like,
no. The rest is fine. It's cute. It's cute, but there's nothing like a ripe plantain that is fried and a little bit crisp, and a little bit burnt. Are you kidding me? That is the best plantain ever.
All right, cool. The Apple or Android platform?
Okay, I'm torn.
Your phone, your main phone, what is it?
It's an Apple, but I still listen, baby. Android, Google.
You're not loyal.
I'm not loyal.
You're not loyal.
I have no loyalty. Let me explain to you why it's hard.
I thought we were together. I thought we were on the same page. Like,
so let me define why this is a little bit complicated for me. As a technology person, we love an open system that allows you to launch something today and within a matter of hours.
Let me rest now.
It's open.
Give me power.
Android. All day, every day. I mean, don't get me wrong. Apple stepped up its game and realized that they were going to lose out to a market if they didn't make it, a little bit more better for developers. So, of course, you can get approval now. So, yeah, I'm all right with, Apple. I use Apple. It's one of my products. But, baby, there's a Android phone right next to.
I only like their pictures. That's it.
Listen. Apple will not catch up. They get a little bit closer, and Android's like,
we're getting there. We'll get there eventually.
Eventually, they wake up, and then next thing you know, Android's on levels.
All right, Ghana or Kenya?
I don't know. Kenya. Let me. All right. So Kenya is different than Ghana. I mean, gosh, that's hard. But I say Kenya because I launched my business in Kenya. So it's a bigger tie-in right now, only because business-wise, that's where my offices, are. Yes. That's where our biggest community is. So without blinking, we have 3,000 women in the Kenyan community all day, every day without doing anything, right? Mm-hmm. So, but I fell in love with Ghana, when I went to it, the water, the people, the atmosphere is great, but yeah, it's Kenya.
I know that because the money is coming from Kenya. So
listen, we got to flow.
All right. Bill Gates or Steve Jobs?
Wow. They're both different. it's like Apple to Microsoft. I mean, I love both of their stories and how they both, you know, started in terms of trying to get there and be the best at what you can be. I like
Who do you
Apple.
think is the most influential in our generation between the both of them?
Well, right now, all of y'all hating on Bill Gates, so I don't know what to tell you. No, I mean, you know,
up, man.
like y'all just hating on this man for no whatever reason. I mean, vaccines and all, y'all just like, you know, F him and whatever he tried to do, great. Nobody cares, right? But, you know, he was an innovator. Steve Jobs, more so because he introduced us to a walking, talking computer in your hand. So it just made that technology kind of rule how the world will operate going forward. The ability for it to always have a lot of the advanced features. So it's for different reasons, but I would go with Steve Jobs. Just in terms of what he was able to create and how it's allowing us to interact today.
Cool. Facebook or Instagram?
Well, right now, business-wise, it's not even personal because it's for different reasons. Facebook is great for having those personal dialogues without a whole audience. And then, you know, Instagram, I always see it as more business. I don't see it as like anything that is a personal relationship. I just see it as like I've posted anything I need to do. I put in my personal things here and there in my pictures, but I always keep it more business. I don't.
Do you feel like it's different people sometimes? Do you get that vibe?
Yeah, it is. It's mad random. It's like Twitter, but Twitter goes at 150 miles an hour. Instagram goes at 30. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there's
I can't keep up with Twitter. Like it's
exactly. So but you know, Twitter, I understand where it's going. We going fast, and you gotta pay attention, right? Yeah. Instagram says, you know what? I'm gonna do a drive-by, and I'm gonna go real slow so you can see all the little details. You don't miss nothing. And
that's to advertise in terms of marketing, like. Which one of them do you think is better for marketing? I use Facebook for most of my marketing. Like if I'm doing events and stuff, I feel like it works better on Facebook, even though all my people are on Instagram for some reason. And it's easier to connect with them.
It depends on your market, because what I find is if you're Africa focused, Facebook has more people in Africa that are on Facebook. Okay. So when you do your marketing and you're doing a Facebook, if you're traveling and you're doing a tour, whatever, Facebook is the best thing for you to use because you're going to reach a wider African audience, right? If you're in the US, you want to either use your Instagram or your Twitter, right? So it just depends. It breaks down into demographics and what exactly project you're working on and, you know, what direction you want to go with your project. But I've used them for different reasons. Based on what I'm doing. I find that people love Instagram, but not everyone is going to be on Instagram like they may be on Facebook. Even if they're not active in it, they still have an account. And eventually your Facebook marketing algorithms will reach them, right? Because you put in those demographics into the audience that you wanted to reach. Instagram will do the same thing, but it's not as many users if Africa is your focus, right? So Twitter and Facebook, if Africa is your focus, is where you need to be marketing to. It's just that Twitter is a bit more expensive than Facebook.
Okay. So what about Snapchat or TikTok?
Oh, wow. So I use Snapchat filters every day just for the hell of it. Right. You know, I'm taking pictures as in like, it's my damn journal. Mind you, I don't even upload the pictures, but I still take the pictures and then just save them, right? But TikTok, I really like TikTok for its ability to stay relevant. It stays relevant with all the dance, and dance is a craze right now. And I don't care what dance you're in or not, or doing something short and funny. Our attention span right now these days is like this much. Like you'll find people coming in and out of here, listen for 3 minutes, and then they bounce. That's fine. That's okay. That's what's supposed to happen. TikTok just took it and said, you know what? Since you're all visual people anyway, because we've turned into visual creatures more than like reading, then we'll give you this display. So TikTok is going to be very successful.
So obviously, you know, you being in technology also, like what about some people's concern that TikTok is owned by a Chinese company and there's a security concern?
People don't like this answer. So long as you're on technology, your information is out there.
It's out there.
If you own a house, I could Google you, find out if you got your wife and your 4 kids and your 1.5 dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Information is readily available so long as what we call you're in the grid. You are in the grid. So if you are in the grid, you're in the grid. If you're not,
I feel like if you're not a criminal, you're not doing something illegal, then nobody's coming after you, right?
Right. And a lot of people fail to realize when you go, even your banking institution has a lot of data sets on you. Your banking institution could take all of your information and be able to dissect who you are. Where did you go? Who did you spend money with? Yep. You know, why did you spend the money? Is this a pattern? How many magazine subscriptions you got? You know what I'm saying? So it's like whether you give that information to them or to your banking institution, which you don't know because they do it behind privacy and they're fine in doing that because you signed up for that, right? So long as you're aware that whatever instrument you're using, you're always on the grid. Like you said, if you're a criminal, be worried. But if you're not a criminal and you're just like, I don't want one more person to have my information, okay, that's fine. But it doesn't matter. Your information exists out there anyway.
Yeah. All right. Shoes or sneakers?
Oh, I love sneakers. All day, every day.
Whiskey or DeVito?
Really? I mean,
be honest.
Be honest? Well, it depends. Okay. Can we talk about, 5 years ago? No, I'm just kidding. I mean, right now, of course, you know, let's just rep for the culture, the diaspora. Everyone knows both of them, but a lot of them are more gravitating towards Vito right now because he's done more things with more of the artists right now, even though WizKid has, but his information is being seen prominent. So, and based on how I'm seeing how they market, because, you know, we pay attention to those things, I think they're marketing him well in terms of
Vito, right?
Yeah. So the way they market him, and his music sounds great. Both music sound great. But I just like the way that his team has marketed him.
Oh, okay, cool. Just for enjoyment, which one? Timaya or Flavor? Sound.
I know you ain't asking no questions about Flavor to a damn woman. What is wrong with you? I mean, I want to see that woman that's going to say anybody else but Flavor.
Wait, is it the music or is it the 6 packs? Which one are you?
It does not matter.
It does, because you're asking a different question.
Listen, all we know is that his music sounds good and so he looks good. What do you want from our lives? You know, we can't help it if he's beautiful to look at. What do you want? He looks good too. It's a bonus, even better.
All right. Who would you wake up? Big or Tupac?
Wow.
This is now testing your loyalty because there's no in between. It's either one or the other.
No, it's not about testing.
And you live in Brooklyn, so be careful which, you know, what your answer is.
Listen, I live in Bed-Stuy.
You're not too far from Biggie's house.
I know, I'm not. And that picture is looking at me every time I drive.
Literally down the road from his house.
I know. And every time I drive by, the picture looks at me like, what's good? So I'm sticking to Biggie. Let me just stay in my neighborhood. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You know, Tupac was just a joint. You know what I'm saying? But I do pass Biggie's picture, like, literally every time I drive to get to my house. So, and I still live here for, you know, for those that need to know. And this is still public. So we're going to stick with what I know. The neighborhood, Bed-Stuy.
All right, cool. What do you prefer, brunch or dinner? For me,
now I'm a brunch girl.
Brunch? Okay.
I'm a brunch girl.
Traditional or Western?
Traditional.
Okay. Dating, online meeting, or face-to-face?
I don't know, because shit's been weird. No. I wish there was a way you could pre-screen, like before you did anything, but you can't. You know, if you do it on the internet, you're like, I don't know. You meet face to face, like your vibe is off. You know what I mean? How the hell can I get out of here you know, without making a scene. You know what I'm saying? But yes, in an ideal situation, face to face is always better.
Yeah. Favorite Nigerian dish?
Oh, come on. Adika Ikong. You know, I grew up Calabar, Akwa Ibom.
Favorite Nigerian restaurant in New York?
In New York.
Yes.
No, see, you trying to fuck me up. I'm cursing right now.
You out there.
Nope, you ain't put me out there.
I'm putting you out there.
Nope, because they're all brothers and they're all people
but
that
you
I
have
feel...
a favorite.
No,
the last
you
time
see...
I was at your... Oh man, you're not live. The last question we got kicked off went over time, so she must answer that question. She must answer. Aki, what's up? Welcome back. Jay, welcome back. Liz, welcome back. Oh man. She was about to lie. That's why we got disconnected. She was about to lie. That's why we got disconnected. And oh man. Annie, post a comment so I can bring you. Oh, okay, you sent it already. Okay, perfect. Oh man.
God said I don't have to answer that question.
You were about to lie. That's
God said she ain't got to answer that
question.
Nope, he said next. He said I do not have to answer that question. He told me that let me just cut this Negro off since he wants to just sabotage you. Because you got to know when people are trying to sabotage you. Let's just cut them off right now. So you ain't got to answer that question because you won't have problems, sister girl. So you ain't setting me up.
See, Mike said answer.
So I am not answering that question.
Please answer.
Nope. Do you know?
You know what? Because you're from the neighborhood. You've tasted all of them. You know which is which. So this is a recommendation. Seriously.
Listen, go to all of them. Go to all of them. They're all Nigerian. You will not get me to. See, this is why God cut you off before he knew. God said, this one's trying to set my daughter up. Let me just cut it. Cut you off right then and there.
Oh man. Oh, well,
so this way
so
I couldn't be sabotaged. You know?
No wala. I've had so much fun doing this. I had a great time. Shout out to Farai. She's saying what's
Yes, hi Farai.
You know.
Yeah, I said nope. You're not. We are not doing this.
You dropped that one offline then.
Yeah, nope. You can't. There's no way.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna download this. I'm gonna upload it on YouTube, put it out so some folks that wasn't able to join us, so they'll be able to see it. We'll put it everywhere: Facebook, YouTube, and all that good stuff. Because I learned a lot, and I think a lot of people will be able to learn so much from your background, doing everything that you've been able to do. A highly successful, accomplished woman, and I just love the fact how much you do for women, empowering women, not just in technology, but just in business in general. You know, kudos to you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate. Thank you for hosting me. Thank you for Rye for coming, because she let us know she was missing her Teddy Riley and Babyface to come step in and say hello. Hey, cuz that's 529.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank
you everyone for joining us. Really appreciate this time.
Absolutely.
All right,
Mama. Bye.
Peace out.
Yes. Enjoy the interview. Thank you so much to everyone that tuned in. Annie is great. Please follow her, Anie Akpe, on Instagram. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing an interview with King Mohammed. He's a 3-time champion. He's from wrestling to MMA. He's all over the TV. The brother's really big, so we're doing that tomorrow. I'm also talking with Il Bliss tomorrow. Il Bliss is a Nigerian artist, businessman, management. He's in the movies, King of Boys. And who else? I'm talking with Martin Fireme, my partner. We started the Nigerian Entertainment Awards together. about the business of entertainment. We're going to be talking tomorrow. And then I'll also be talking with Audu Maikori. He's the CEO of Chocolate City record label in Nigeria. He's done a lot of great stuff. He put out Ice Prince, MI, Jesse Jags, and a lot of other artists. He's a serious entrepreneur, he's a trained lawyer, a lot of big things. So he's around. So we're going to be talking about entertainment in general, law, new artists is working with, and just the business, making money in terms of just doing what you do. Basically, so I'm going to be talking with him tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be interesting. That's like 4 people. I don't know what got me into it, but I signed up to do it. So tomorrow is going to be very interesting. Yeah, 4 in one day tomorrow. Yeah, we're just going to do it back to back. It's a lot of information. It's a lot of content that I'm looking forward to learn so much and talking with those folks tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Lydia. Lydia, you just missed the interview with Anie, your neighbor, literally in Brooklyn. You know, so that was dope. Yes, but thank you all so much. So tomorrow is going to be a very, very busy day. Shout out to DJ Bayo, man. What's going on, brother? Big up yourself. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It's going to be very, very busy. The interview with King Mohammed I'm doing it at 3 p.m. So everybody back home can catch that also. And yeah, so I have a lot of great stuff lined up, especially this week. There's some other dope interviews that I'm working on. So thank you all. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. For those of you that just joined and missed the interview, I'm going to upload it on YouTube, Facebook, everywhere. And I'll send the details out once it's uploaded so you can check it out. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you. One love.